For many people, luxury cars represent the ultimate symbol of success. They are designed to impress, built with cutting-edge technology, wrapped in premium materials, and often priced far beyond what most drivers could ever justify spending on a vehicle. When these cars are new, they sit proudly in dealership showrooms with price tags that can easily reach $100,000. Sometimes far more. Because of those high prices, many people assume something simple. If a car costs that much when it's new, it must remain valuable for a long time. After all, luxury vehicles are supposed to be better, more advanced, and more exclusive than ordinary cars. But the reality of the car market tells a very different story. In fact, some luxury vehicles experience one of the most dramatic financial drops of any consumer product. Within just a few years, cars that once cost as much as a house deposit can suddenly be found for the price of a basic compact sedan. We are talking about losses that reach 70, 80, or even 90% of the original price. And that creates one of the strangest situations in the automotive world. Cars that were once owned only by wealthy executives, celebrities, or successful entrepreneurs suddenly become accessible to almost anyone browsing the used car market. But why does this happen? Why would a car that once represented the peak of engineering and prestige suddenly become so cheap? The answer involves several factors: technology that ages quickly, high maintenance costs, shifting market preferences, and one simple reality of the luxury segment. Luxury cars depreciate faster than almost anything else on the road. Today we're going to explore several fascinating examples of vehicles that once cost a fortune but have now lost up to 90% of their value. Cars that were once considered unattainable are now appearing on the used market at prices that seem almost unbelievable. But as you'll soon discover, a low purchase price doesn't always mean a cheap car. Let's begin with a vehicle that quietly shocked the luxury market when it first appeared: the Volkswagen Phaeton. At first glance, the idea seems strange. Volkswagen had built its reputation around reliable and practical cars for everyday drivers. Vehicles like the Golf and Passat were known for quality and sensible engineering. But then something unusual happened. The company decided to build one of the most ambitious luxury sedans ever created. The Phaeton was designed to compete directly with the best luxury cars in the world, including the Mercedes-Benz S-Class and the BMW 7 Series. This wasn't just a slightly upgraded sedan. It was an engineering statement. The car featured an incredibly rigid body structure, advanced air suspension, premium interior materials, and technology that was years ahead of many competitors. Some versions even included a massive W12 engine, producing smooth and effortless power. When it was new, the Phaeton could easily cost more than $90,000, depending on configuration. Yet, despite its engineering excellence, the car faced a problem that had nothing to do with performance or comfort: the badge on the front. Many buyers struggled with the idea of paying luxury car money for a vehicle wearing a Volkswagen logo. Even though the car was exceptional in many ways, the market never fully embraced it. That hesitation had consequences. Today, many used examples of the Phaeton can be found for less than $15,000. A car that once competed with the world's most prestigious luxury sedans can now be purchased for the price of a used economy car. And that dramatic drop in value makes it one of the most fascinating depreciation stories in the automotive world. But the Phaeton is only the beginning. Another vehicle that experienced an extraordinary loss in value comes from a brand that most people associate with: high-performance sports cars. Porsche. The Porsche Panamera represented a major shift for the brand. Traditionally known for producing two-door sports cars, Porsche suddenly entered the luxury four-door market with a vehicle that combined performance with executive comfort. When the Panamera launched, it attracted enormous attention. Powerful engines, advanced handling systems, and a luxurious interior made it clear that this was not simply a large sedan. It was a Porsche. In every sense of the word, prices reflected that identity. Many versions of the Panamera originally sold for well over $100,000. But as time passed, something predictable happened. Newer generations arrived, technology improved, market attention shifted, and the value of the early models began to drop rapidly. Today, first-generation Panameras are often listed for around $20,000, sometimes even less, depending on condition and mileage. That means many of these cars have lost more than 80% of their original value, and yet they still deliver the driving dynamics and engineering quality that made them special in the first place. But the story becomes even more dramatic when we look at some of the most powerful luxury engines ever placed into production cars. Consider the Mercedes-Benz CLE 600. This car represented one of the most exclusive luxury coupes ever produced by Mercedes. Built on the same foundation as the legendary S, the CL-Class offered the same technology and comfort, but with a sleek Tudor design that emphasized elegance and performance. Under the hood of the CL60, sat something truly extraordinary, a twin-turbocharged V12 engine. This engine delivered immense power with effortless smoothness, making the car both incredibly fast and exceptionally refined. When new, the CL600 often carried a price tag exceeding $150,000. Owning one was a statement of success, but luxury coupes follow a very specific pattern in the used car market. Because they are less practical than sedans and often extremely expensive to maintain, their values tend to fall quickly as they age. Today, some CL600 models can be found for around $20,000. A car with a 12-cylinder engine, once reserved for the wealthiest buyers, suddenly becomes financially accessible to a much wider audience. Yet the reason behind that low price is not difficult to understand. Maintenance for complex V12 engines can be extremely expensive, and many buyers prefer to avoid the potential risk. Which brings us to another remarkable example, the Audi A8 W12. For many years, the Audi A8 served as the technological flagship of the Audi brand. It showcased the company's most advanced engineering solutions and luxury features. The W12 version was particularly impressive. This engine configuration combined to narrowing V6 engines into a compact 12-cylinder design that delivered incredible smoothness and performance. Inside the car, passengers enjoyed a level of luxury that rivaled the best executive sedans in the world. High-quality leather, precision, craftsmanship, and sophisticated technology made the A8W1 a true competitor to the most prestigious vehicles on the market. The price reflected that status. Many of these cars originally sold for well over $140,000, but as the years passed, the familiar pattern of depreciation took hold. Today, used A8W12 models sometimes appear in the market for around $25,000. A dramatic drop that highlights just how quickly luxury vehicles can lose value once newer models arrive. And yet, the most surprising depreciation stories often involve brands that symbolize ultimate prestige. One perfect example is the Bentley Continental Flying Spur. Bentley has long been associated with handcrafted luxury, powerful engines, and timeless elegance. The Flying Spur brought those qualities into the world of high-performance luxury sedans. When new, this car represented the pinnacle of automotive luxury. The interior featured exquisite wood trim, handcrafted leather, and meticulous attention to detail. Under the hood, powerful engine delivered effortless acceleration despite the car's size and weight. Prices frequently exceeded $180,000. For many buyers, owning a Bentley was not simply about transportation. It was about status. But the used car market treats even the most prestigious vehicles according to its own rules. As newer generations of luxury cars appear and technology evolves, older models begin to lose value rapidly. Today, early Flying Spur models can sometimes be found for around $30,000. That means a vehicle that once costs nearly $200,000 has lost a staggering portion of its value. Of course, this doesn't mean these cars suddenly became poorly built or unpleasant to drive. In many cases, they still deliver extraordinary comfort and performance. But ownership costs remain very real. Luxury cars often include complex suspension systems, advanced electronics, and specialized components that can be expensive to repair or replace. This combination creates an interesting paradox. The purchase price may be surprisingly low, but the overall cost of ownership can still reflect the car's original luxury status, which is why some buyers approach these vehicles with caution. However, for enthusiasts who understand the risks and responsibilities, these cars represent something unique, a chance to experience automotive engineering that was once far beyond their financial reach. A car that once symbolized wealth and exclusivity suddenly becomes attainable. And that transformation is exactly what makes the luxury depreciation phenomenon so fascinating. Because in the end, the used car market doesn't care about prestige. It cares about age, maintenance costs, market demand, and the relentless pace of technological change. And that combination can turn even the most expensive luxury car into a surprisingly affordable opportunity. The only real question is whether that opportunity is a hidden bargain or a financial trap waiting to happen.